Hello, storytelling run. This is kind of an odd timing video where I'm going to rant about something else, not about the Trump assassination thing, which, you know, I'm just still kind of ingesting that over the weekend and now, and that's just the whole Trump thing where everything has just been a drama after drama with the left and their attacks on him during his presidency, and even, you know, now that it's very exhausting, and now they're just, you know, now this assassination attempt. But anyway, I'm going to talk about that in another video or another time. It should have been the first thing to talk about on Monday since it happened over the weekend, but I want to talk about this because it's just in my heart right now to talk about this. And this is about Louis C.K. Because this came up as well over the weekend for me, just trying to, you know, relax and listen to other videos. And so let me go to this real quick. So this is a Film Threat, and Film Threat is, I just like them for light news, light entertainment while I'm doing things around the yard or walking the dog or whatever. They're just kind of funny to me and amusing. And I even know that the guy there is, you know, he's a Christian, I think a Reformed Baptist or something like that. Not Chris Gore, but I think his name is Alan. I never get names down. But anyway, so they brought up this Sorry Not Sorry, and this guy has been on my radar or the back of my mind once in a while. You know, a brilliant guy, a royal court jester. I don't like the guy, just to come out. I don't like him because of his manipulation. His, you know, even before the masturbation thing came out, I found this guy to be offensive, and here's why. Let me talk about this though first. The documentary is coming. I have not watched it yet. I'm going to watch it, but to me, it's just going to be one of those painful documentaries to watch. But the documentary is about what he did to the women, how they're all suffering, even to today. They haven't been able to deal with it, and he's coming back very, you know, is bigger and stronger than ever, and he's got his he's the Pied Piper, and he's got his minions and the millions following him and giving him things, and he's giving him success again, and nothing came of it for him. He's, you know, as far as, I'll get to that. Let me what I don't like is that Alan is saying, I don't think that he was did as much as Harvey Weinstein. That's depressing to me, because I decided, like, what did he do? What are the laws? You know, I'm going to jump to this in a sec. Also, he said that the people should have gotten therapy as opposed to doing it out in the public, you know, in the media and stuff. The women that are now, and they're all like, I just read an article. I'm going to get to it. They all have sort of receded and hidden away, and now they're not comedians anymore because they're afraid. Even because of what he did to them, and because of the culture that glorifies him. So let me just jump around, and he just felt like, Alan felt like this was not intense. I don't know, whatever. He didn't feel it was like that big a deal, and he's worried that he's going to be attacked for that. And I'm not really attacking him. I'm just saying, obviously, a lot of people feel like it's not that big of a deal, and I feel like it is a big deal. Whether or not he should come back, you know, I guess this is the culture. The culture is the culture of you know, we love the witty court jesters, no matter who they manipulate or control or destroy or sexually, you know, with their perversity, manipulate. So I just looked it up. I wonder what the California Penal Code about this indecent exposure is, and we know today it's not even being enforced, right? The gay community can push indecent exposure all the time now, and like, it's not a big deal anymore. That is the culture we're in. We don't have a church culture anymore. We have a Louis C.K. culture now, where you can do lewd conduct in public, and it's not a big deal. You can be naked. You can have gay parades, pride parades, and show off your sexuality, and manipulate the children, and that's okay. That's the culture we live in, apparently. But the law says that if you intentionally expose your genitals and naked body, expose yourself in front. I mean, I'm assuming this is accurate. Expose yourself in front of someone who might be offended or annoyed by it, intend to direct attention to yourself, intend to sexually gratify yourself or offend someone else when you do it. You intended to do what was necessary to break willfully. So the first time it's a misdemeanor, but the second time it should be a felony and could result in a state prison term. And I don't think he ever got, right? I mean, nothing. If he did this more than once, which he did, nothing's happened. I don't know what's going on with that. He's not been arrested at all, so I don't know why that has happened. Now, I really fell in love with this guy initially, and then I, you know, kind of, his stuff came across my radar, and this one came across, and I was like, what the heck? So during this, I don't know, this was 2007 or what, 17 years ago, but he did this video where Louis C.K. learns about the Catholic Church, and this is sort of a mockumentary. And he goes to the Catholic Church and he talks to this priest, and the priest admits that the whole reason for the church is for effing young boys. That's the whole premise of the church. The whole reason it exists. And they say it like in just sort of a matter-of-fact way. And, and Louis C.K. is, what? And then he goes off and just starts like going off more and more about... yeah, just more. It goes more and more in depth into that, they're making Bibles based off of effing young boys or whatever. The entire documentary is about the Catholic Church doing this. So Louis C.K. is making this kind of a video. He also did... This is, I don't know. This is, it's 2007. He was accused of stuff in 17? Or that's when it came to light. So this is 10 years before. I'm assuming during this period, whatever. I'm assuming he's completely addicted to porn and masturbating to porn all the time. And a brilliant, incredible comedian and successful. So Louis C.K., another thing that I came across my radar, I'm just going to bring this in, is that he's a manipulator in the sense of pushing an agenda. He's very agenda driven, politically driven, pushing this perverse culture that he really wants us to all have, where it's okay to be, a sinner, and it's okay to have these sins and push it on everyone else. So this video here came across my mind because of Candace Owen bringing it up, saying this was funny, and I did not find this funny, and Candace Owen did, which whatever, that's fine, the joke is, so saying faggot. I mean, I don't say faggot, that kind of. I don't say those derogatory terms. I'm a Christian. I just don't say those. Homosexuality is a sin, but I don't say that word. I don't say it when I'm not on video. I don't say it when with my neighbors who are all homosexual men, married, 2 men in homes. I don't say it under my breath when I walk by them. I say hello. How are you doing? That's because I'm a Christian. I'm a real Christian. I don't have hatred in my heart for my neighbors who are gay. I have 1, 2, 3, 4. Within walking, dog walking distance. More than 4 within dog walking distance. But anyway, so this guy's gay, and then they say faggot, and then they're talking about the wood thing, and then he says, well, and they say it's not a big deal, and then he, of course, and this is a very manipulative edit, where everything is carefully scripted. He gets to say, well, they used to burn people, gay men, in the wood that's called faggot, and it wasn't good enough to even burn on the stakes, the church or whatever, and so they called them faggots because of that reason. I've never heard that story before, or that whatever. So anyway, they're all like, whoa, and then at the end, just to break it up, because that's what you do, one of the comedians says, okay, faggot, let's go back to poker, and they all start laughing. So, but it's supposed to like give you this guilt trip, and obviously this guy is writing this, I'm assuming, and this is his whole way of getting us, manipulating us into his agenda, his left-wing perverse agenda. And obviously this is something he did while he was manipulating and breaking the hearts of women who wanted to be comedians, who were coming into him to get work. He was very powerful. He is still very powerful as a brilliant court jester, and he is a gateway, a gatekeeper that for these women that were hoping to get these jobs. And he found these women very funny, obviously, because if he's letting them into his inner circle where he then gets naked and masturbates in front of them, he asks them. But you're in a position where you're trying to get work from someone, and especially a woman to a man. See, we Christians understand the difference between men and women. We understand the predatory nature of men, and that women are more gullible in that sense, and more, wanting to please a man, not even sexually, but please a man in the sense of like friendship, working together, doing things, and they're gonna give in to a man's predatory nature in some way. We understand as Christians. Pagans pretend that doesn't exist while being predators on the women. So then he's making a comeback, right? 2000, not even a year later after all this stuff came out, I think. I'm not totally following this guy. He pops up into my radar every now and then of course I just wanted to bring this out. So he made this sort of that's my gone 10 minutes here. Oops. But I'm gonna keep going. Trying to do videos under 10 minutes, but this obviously a lot to hear. So he's been doing these videos or releasing these. Oh, I didn't mean to release these to the public, but here they are, getting to the public. Here, this video is I think this is his comeback thing 3 years ago. Video where he talks about he does gay jokes, right? He's very he's very calculating. He's a calculating dude. He's very a genius, right? He knows who's the gatekeepers above him. It's the gay people in Hollywood. So he makes jokes about gay people, but it really actually he's really fawning on them. He's really like, oh, look at this funny jokes I'm making about you guys to give you guys some self-deprecation and I'm with you. It's a very manipulative, very incredible in that sense. I'm like, when I saw that, when I heard this, I was like, wow, he really knows. He's got to make sure he fawns over the gatekeepers above him. He's got to make sure he does those jokes, and that's what he's doing here. And then he goes into a whole thing about his whole masturbating thing and how we're all sinners, and he obviously learned something from the Catholic Church. We're all sinners, so get over it is kind of what his jokes are, and he's very manipulative with that too. He's like, look, and he's trying to laugh it off. So I then decided to just kind of look at the articles about this, because I don't want to watch that documentary. Well, not because I don't want to. It's just depressing, like these women coming out, and I didn't get this far in this one. The one that I got here, this one, very sad. This the Independent here, Louis C.K. back on the scene. His accusers are underemployed and furious. So she's saying the only money she's making is by selling stuff on eBay. Like, she doesn't even have a career in it anymore. She's hid away from this. It's just, I just reading this, and it's just very depressing to read what these women are kind of like. Like, one here talks about how he asked her to come back or to talk to him. So he said, I'm sorry, but he just kept talking about his problem, like his how he was victimized, how he, not about her, not about the other women, how the other women don't have any careers in comedy anymore. It was all, she says here, it was all a ruse. The homophobia, transphobia, racism, misogyny, none of it went away. People are making money doing it. So what's the cancel culture? The people who love Louis C.K. are still there. He came back. He learned nothing. He didn't say anything profound about the experience. So, but she's not getting, the women in this that came out are out. They're out. You're not allowed back into the comedy scene. It's a very inbred scene, the comedy scene. And that's why I'm kind of like, whenever I see comedians, because I do want to I want to laugh. I want things that are going to make me funny. I just know what the scene is and who are the gatekeepers and who allows you into the, to succeed and not succeed. And it's men like him who get naked in front of these women and masturbate. And they do it with that sort of happy face. Like, hi, can I do this in front of you? And, and brutally, mentally, spiritually break you down and destroy you with this disgusting act, to make sure who I am in control of the entire, I am the tyrant here, and you're going to do what I say. That's kind of his mindset, and I don't think he even knows that. But he's a controller, he's a manipulator in his jokes, and I'm just, I'm just saying it. I'm just making this video because he comes across my radar every now and then. He's a court jester, a royal court jester, brilliant in that sense, but obviously very destructive in that sense. I don't know if he's married anymore. He's got several broken relationships. He's got children that he adores, but of course doesn't really sacrifice anything for them in that sense. And I'm getting a little angry at what he's been doing, and then him saying he's got children and he's got a good side to him. Yeah, every evil person has a good side to them, but 99%, I'm 99% good. I just get that 1% where I get to destroy and manipulate and control people, if you don't mind, kind of thing. So I don't know. It's just I don't really have a solution for this, except the culture is such that it's we're building up men like this. We're building up men like this because we don't have a church culture anymore. We don't have a Christian culture. We have a perverse LGBTQ culture where you can do this kind of thing and get away with it. And as long as you're brilliant, I don't think he's been gone to jail for any of this. Yet I look, that law says you go to jail, felony for that. But now look at the culture. You can do that now regularly on the street, and it's happening here in LA. In Hollywood, it's I don't know if it's as bad as San Francisco, but we're only a few years behind them. As if the election and if we don't have something change. But anyway, this is one of those depressing Monday morning videos that I don't really like doing, but it just keeps kind of popping up. And then when that came up on the film thread, it was just gnawing at me. Obviously, the Trump thing is something that I want to talk about, but I kind of want to just wait a little bit. There's so much manipulation going on with that I, on the left and what they're saying. So anyway, I'll try to do a video on that later, after that dies down, and then I'll bring up a video on it. But anyway, all right. So this is about this Louis C.K. guy and the Royal Court Jester. I think that's what I'll title this. All right. In the game of life, we need to bring back the church, bring back that as part of the culture. So otherwise we're going to get more and more of this. And since he got away with it, more and more comedians are going to do it, whatever it is. More and more CEOs and more the churches that are not Christian and their priests are going to start doing it just to go ahead and jump on his bandwagon, right? If he can do it and get away with it, why can't a priest now? The priests, those manipulative priests, the ones that are that believe in the LGBT and the homosexuality, why can't they do it too? If he can do it, why can't they do it? Why can't public school teachers do it then? I mean, he's obviously getting away with it. So why can't public school teachers do it? I mean, or college professors, 18. Let's do 18 and over for now. But I think the children are next, right? Because 18, what's that? That's just a number. So that's kind of my fear for all this, and it's happening. So let's bring up the church culture, and again, like I keep saying, in the game of life, we need Christians all the time. I feel like all the time now we need to. Oh, one last thing. I'm sorry, I forgot to put this just real quick. If you're still with me, I looked up his Wikipedia thing here. Obviously failed marriages and stuff. Political views. He says, sometimes I think I'm very conservative or very liberal. They always say that. It's very hilarious because then I look at this and you go, "Oh, I'm not equating Donald Trump to Hitler. He's just a gross, dirty, rotten, lying sack of shit." Okay, so he's not. He's sort of conservative, sort of liberal. Okay, now look. He's donated to Biden in 2020. He has voted Democrat in 2004, 2008, 2012, 2016. So a lot of those guys like to say they're fence sitters. They like to say they're high and mighty and above it all, above politics. But he's completely left wing, complete Democrat. Some things I think are very conservative or very low. Some things I think are very conservative or very liberal. I think when someone falls into one category for everything, I'm very suspicious. It doesn't make sense to me that you're the same. Okay. He's very suspicious, yet everything he does is against, is Democrat. That's what they always do. When someone says they're independent or moderate, I don't trust them, because they always, every one of them that I know, that's all they do. Every moderate or independent I know votes that way. I mean, it's a little different now because of what's going on with everything, but before this, when I was conservative, I always noticed that about the independents. Oh, I'm independent. Oh, I'm above it all. So, oh yeah. Abortion's fine. Sex outside of marriage is fine. Everything's fine. Everything Democrats want is fine. Republicans are murderers, or whatever. I don't know. Anyway, all right, that's it. In the game of life, roll holy dice.